Hey, Steven.
What's up?
I have a question for you.
What's the question?
I think this is a great starter question because everybody's dying to know why haven't we done this in a while? It's been,
Because
2 weeks?
Josue went on vacation.
Where'd he go?
Where did you go? He went to Honduras. He went on
You
a
on
cruise.
a cruise with Carnival?
Yeah. But the
Can you start off the show by doing the commercial, singing the commercial song?
What commercial song?
You never seen the commercial for Carnival?
Not since the pandemic. No.
Lost the fun. Nobody?
No.
Wow. This is awkward.
Taylor doesn't watch TV at all.
I mean, I don't really watch TV. I watch basketball games and football games because they've been on the commercials.
But to answer your question, we haven't done this because Taylor and Josue have been out. And obviously, we depend upon them.
Well, I'm glad y'all back. The people are glad y'all are back.
The people. Do you know where the people are watching from?
No.
I don't know either.
Well, I'm the interviewer today, so you got to guess.
I don't know. I haven't looked up the stats recently. We haven't done this since Friendsgiving. That was your first Friendsgiving.
It was my first Friendsgiving.
And how was it?
It was fun. It was a lot of fun. We played some fun games. It was more fun to watch people make a fool of themselves.
Yeah. What?
Somebody cheated.
Who cheated?
And I hope he listening. I don't remember his name.
What?
But we was playing musical chairs, and this man picked up the chair.
Yeah, he did.
And
cheat.
everybody just laughed like he cheated.
Yeah, I know his name.
I should be moving on.
I know. It's okay.
It's okay. I'm not bitter about it. I sound
No,
bitter.
you are bitter.
I am bitter. Okay,
You
I'm
are bitter. You
but
are bitter.
it just wasn't fair.
What
And
did you do for
could've won.
Thanksgiving?
What I do for Thanksgiving? I went home, met with my family. Y'all love my mama. I'm hoping she calls this time because she didn't call last time.
She's not this time either. What is your favorite thing your mom makes for Thanksgiving?
Oh, roast. I love roast.
You like roast?
I love roast.
I hate roast.
Roast is so good.
Maybe because I hadn't had your mom's roast. That's
do you
why.
stuff it?
No, I don't think so.
Stuff
I don't
that
think so.
baby.
I don't think so. Jose, what'd you do for Thanksgiving? Oh, you were on a cruise for Thanksgiving Day. You were here? You were here. Okay. And you, Taylor? Taylor went to the Saints game. What a great game.
Oh, you went to Dallas, right?
The one before that against the Bills where the Saints got
the Bills.
whooped.
Yeah, sheesh.
Yeah, so we've had an interesting couple weeks, and we're on the final stretch of 2021. Hey, what do you think was the best thing that's happened to you this year?
This year, the best thing that ever happened to me, Stephen Daigle.
I was about to say, I hope you say our friendship. What do you think?
The best thing that happened to me this year, sheesh, I don't know. Going to school.
Going to school?
Going to seminary.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been a wild ride, but it's been good.
Have you already...
Look, they shaking their head like this dude lame. The best thing that happened to him is going to school. No. I love Jesus.
No,
I don't know
they're
about
texting
you.
each other. They're not paying attention. It's okay.
No, I'm playing.
Do you have any goals for next year? Did you already start working on your goals?
I have not started working on my goals, admittedly. But I do want to be more consistent working out, which is, I'm sure, a common...
Hey, I think next week we should talk about goals. That's what we should do before we get into 2022. All right, so last night we kicked off a new series.
Fear Not. It was good.
That's the name of the series?
Yeah, Fear Not.
Was it good?
It was good.
Okay, what stood out to you then? What stood out to you?
You funny. No, I think the one thing that stood out to me, the second thing that stood out to me besides the one that we talked about before we started, is really was your first point, I think, that
which was
interruptions are often inconvenient. Or God's plans are often inconvenient. Yeah. Because they feel like interruptions.
Have you ever had that happen to you?
Yeah. In fact, I didn't want to come to New Orleans. I didn't want to come to seminary. But God was like, oh, no, you going. I was like, I just finished undergrad. Like, I'm done with school. Like, I don't want to do school anymore. But he was like, I don't care. I was like, oh, okay.
I think I was thinking last night about, as even I was writing a message, I was thinking about like these big interruptions and these big things that like change people's lives, like whatever. But then I think sometimes we overlook the small interruptions, you know?
Like what?
I remember one time I was headed to life group that I was leading many years ago. And a life group member called me because his truck broke down and it broke down in the opposite direction. And I remember I was feeling so aggravated because I was like, you made me late for life, like, you know? But I was like, wait, like this is what Jesus would do. Like just the daily interruptions and things like that, you know? And it gave me a good opportunity to minister to him and to build deep my relationship. But I think a lot of times there's small, a lot of us are like, well, I'm waiting for the big interruption, but it's the small interruptions, you know? Have you had any of those, you think, this semester?
Not that I can recall, honestly. But I guess my question to you would be, like, when we're planning, you know, when we're calendaring our day and stuff like that, do we make room for those type of things? You know, like the possibility of
Well, I mean, I think
Is that even possible? Because would it then be an interruption?
no, it wouldn't.
No.
So you can interrupt me between 3 and 3:30. Like, no, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think I have plans, but at the same time, the more that I read scripture, the more that I'm reminded of like the interruptions that Jesus encountered and how those are the ones that are written in the Word. And it's like, man, this is where God performed some pretty big miracles and things like that. And so I think it's important to be aware of that, on a daily basis, not just from let me plan a whole year out kind of a thing. But yeah.
But how do we get there? Like, because I feel like
sanctification.
Sure. Because I'm like just think about my question. Like I'm so structured, so calendar oriented. Like I even want to plan an interruption, and that's just not how things work.
How'd the pandemic work for you?
I was chilling.
Okay. Well, you know what?
I was like, it was helpful for me.
All of you without children, okay?
Oh yeah, I'm single. I'm
and
chilling.
me, Taylor, and Josue are just shaking our heads.
Yeah,
you have no idea.
Oh, you have children? I know Taylor has children. You have?
She's got 2 kids, 3 kids.
Oh yeah,
So,
y'all was miserable, huh?
It was.
They all laughing.
There was good. There was good things
skinny
about it, but it was still like.
But no, for real though, like in terms of like, what does it say about Jesus that he was able to live interruptible that we don't have, that we possibly missing? Like maybe if we had understood this component about how Jesus viewed the world, how he viewed his life, then maybe we could be more.
Well, I look
submissive to that.
I'm just thinking as we're talking right now because I don't have any of this written down or nothing like that. But like, I see that Jesus saw the opportunity in the interruption, right? And instead of like someone who's like a lady who's pulling at his cloak and being like, "Come on, please, like heal me," or just touching him, he turned around and he could have just kept going and like, "Oh, she got my power, I'm good." She's like, "No, let me go ahead and like focus on this moment because there's an opportunity here for people to know more about who I am." And I think that that's kind of where. I think I mess up with that sometimes too. Because like you said, I'm so like, I got to be here, I got to do this, I got to be, what I'm saying? Everything's so structured in our day that, you can miss some of that stuff.
For me, it's a control thing. Like, I feel like Jesus' pace helps me understand that he control. Like, you can walk slow and be interruptible when you know that you're not in control. Like, what you can control is already being controlled by him anyways, Yeah. And so it helps me walk at a slower, more, I don't know, a slower pace of life that just allows me to see
sustainable
things clear.
pace.
Yeah.
For sure.
Because we miss interruptions, then we miss opportunities, like grand opportunities. Like, for example, the woman who put on his cloak, we always read that story, right? That's such a powerful story. But we only got that because Jesus was like, cruising.
Yeah. You got to talk further into the mic.
I'm sorry.
There you go. Yeah.
There we go.
Because when I edit it, it's kind of hard to raise your voice. But I was like, even the hurricane, I was thinking how that was like a huge interruption and it was like annoying and all this stuff. But also think like the opportunity that came out of the hurricane for us to minister to people in this area. A lot of the testimonies that we have in our church are because of Hurricane Katrina. And like people came to Celebration Church because of Hurricane Katrina. I think of like Iglesia's celebration and the ministry that they're doing. Like there's stuff that's happening in Central and South America that they've allowed to interrupt their ministry for the purpose of being the hands and feet of Jesus. You know what I'm saying? And I think it has, you have to have that perspective of like, okay, God, why is this happening? Like, what is it in this moment, this opportunity for me that you've given me, to be your hands and to be your feet? So, yeah, well, that's good. I'm glad that stood out. What else? Did anything else? The second point was God's purpose is often different than our plans, which I know we've talked a lot about that.
That's all the time. I was telling you earlier, when we was at lunch, that I will go anywhere to do ministry.
Except where it's cold.
And that's where I'm going to be.
So that's why we're going to get you a jacket for Christmas.
Freezing. Yeah, you buy me a coat, a thick one. Because that's where I'm going to end up in Canada somewhere. Yeah. Freezing.
Yeah.
Lord.
If you get a globe and you put your hand on the exact other side of the globe, that's where I was in India.
Really?
It's like, could you be any further than this? It's exactly around the world.
Interesting.
And I was like, you think you could have sent me to Mississippi?
Are people listening from India? Have they listened from India?
We can check the stats if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are.
Okay.
They are.
That's dope.
Yeah.
But that was good though. I thought it was a good start to our new series. Fear Not.
Yeah. Good.
It was good.
And you're preaching this month?
Yes, on the 19th.
In a couple weeks.
Yep.
We don't know when. It's a surprise.
Oh, yeah.
We don't throw out dates
We
like
don't.
that. Right? Pastor Allie's going to be sharing this month, too. It's going to be a good month because, it's Advent. And so it's a time, I think, to reflect on, the coming of Jesus and what we're celebrating, things like that. Do you typically do anything for Advent? Or do you, like this month, is there like some sort of focus in your prayer life or your reading plan or, that focuses on Advent?
No.
Yes, I would say no to me too.
No.
But I think the older that I'm getting, I'm realizing like the significance of this season. And I know that there's been like a lot of people that I'm following, stuff like that are putting together Advent devotionals and things like that. And it's really intriguing to me. And I'm really leaning into those kind of things, which is awesome. I think we should do something like that for our ministry probably, huh?
I think that'll be good.
Yeah.
Because usually when I think about Advent, I'm just like, oh, the church is going to teach me about it. And that's enough. I'll just read what I've been reading.
But we just had the conversation about being a self-feeder, didn't we?
Yeah.
Right? I think it'd be good if Taylor did a series on Advent and he talked.
I think so too. I think Taylor may be a better teacher than he give himself credit for.
He doesn't give himself credit, which is why he's a good teacher probably.
Yeah. Look at him.
You don't want to say nothing. All right, so this month, anything else that we need that you're thinking of? Christmas is right around the corner. We've only got 2 more weeks, really.
Oh, let's talk about this. So the holidays specifically are fun for some people, but not so fun for other people.
Right.
So what would you say to someone who's hesitant and like not so excited about maybe going back home to meet family because the home life is like, not ideal and like isn't conducive to having a fun Christmas holiday? What do you say to those people?
What would you say to those people?
I ask you first.
Okay. I would. So we were having this discussion before this, talking about how like what was the number one thing that I think that our young adult community does well, and it's community.
Yeah.
And I think that I've never seen a group of young adults interact the way that our community does. Like they're hanging out every single night.
I agree with that.
Alex
always texting me.
I know, I know, right? And so they're doing stuff every night, and I think that that's the purpose of the body of Christ. Like when Jesus showed up, he came to incorporate a new family, right? And he said you have your blood family, but then you have your spiritual family, and that your priority is actually to your spiritual family instead of your blood family. Yeah. And so I think that as much as you can lean into your spiritual family, that's the most beneficial thing that you can do. I think for somebody who's a part of, a home life and a family that's not conducive to being a joyful season, I would really find joy in the community that God has placed you in, and not look at what you don't have, but look at what you do have. Because I think that that's what happens is like during the season, there's a focus on like, oh, I don't have this, these family members, or I don't have the family. Like, there's a lot of comparison going on. But once again, like that's the purpose of the family of God is to fill in the gaps for people in those specific areas. So like people who wouldn't have a place to spend a holiday, you have a family, and you don't just have 1 or 2 brothers and sisters. You have a plethora of brothers and sisters, to spend time with. And so I think that I would also say it's a great time to, if you have to go home, to pray for sure. And to be doing that ahead of time and asking God for opportunities, because I think that that's I think that is sometimes a missed opportunity. I preached last weekend and I woke up on Sunday morning and for some reason I just was thinking about the families of everyone who was going to be sitting in the congregation and thinking like, man, what if people went home during Thanksgiving and they planted seeds around the table? Right? Like they had God-honoring conversations. If everybody just did that, and then you're going to sit around the table again in a month, and you can water those conversations, or you can keep planting seeds instead of just going home and complaining about everything that's going on in your life, or like listening to the political or the vaccine whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, like be a conduit of hope, in your situation. And so I would say a couple verses, Acts 16, God knew the times and the places that he was going to place people. So you're right where you need to be. That's what I would say. God knew, like, you're right where you need to be. And then I would say also that, the parable, like the talents, and that the principle there is like be faithful in what God's giving you. So you say, man, well, I don't have much, so I'm just going to forget about it. Well, no. Like, don't forget about it, because what you have is what God has entrusted to you. That's your Jerusalem. So if you're not faithful in Jerusalem, you won't be faithful in Judea and Samaria. So this is your opportunity. Like, pray for them. Be as blessed are the peacemakers as much as you can. Sometimes you can't. Sometimes there's a limit to that, and you just have to, like, for your own mental health, kind of create some space there, and be wise. But I think for the most part, it's a great opportunity, and also it's a great opportunity. Every year, I just look at our ministry, and I'm just like, man, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Like that all these people come together on Sunday night to hang out. They're all in college. They're all young adults. They're all going through different situations, same situations, and we get to hang out together. Like, what else does that happen?
Yeah.
That doesn't really happen anywhere else in the city, or like, and so it's
not to mention the conversation that happened before and after service. That's like very intentional about this. Is what I'm going through. This is how I'm living. I need help, prayer. You know, just be there for me. Yeah, that's cool.
Yep. So that's what I would say.
That's great. I would say what I was going to say, but you already said it.
What were you going to say?
Exactly what you just said.
Okay. Yeah.
Word for word.
Good stuff.
No, but that's good though. Yeah, that's wise.
Cool.
Yep.
All right. Well,
that's the overflow.
I know. Short and sweet this time. But yeah, it's gonna be a good month. We're going through these passages of scriptures, and I would say this to people who don't have a reading plan right now, especially in a Christmas season. Read through the Christmas story. Get yourself familiarize yourself with the narrative of the Christmas story. Do some research and find out some things about, because we're gonna make some posts in a couple weeks on our Instagram about like what are some things that you didn't think about the Christmas story that are true, that are not true actually, because we're
that's
raised,
good. Because I remember we was talking about this a couple weeks ago.
What?
I was reading through the Christmas story, and I forgot about Zechariah. Just forgot Buddy was in there, and that's a important narrative right there. So
yeah. We even like the 3 wise men. Were there 3 wise men?
No.
Oh,
I'm a seminary, I know.
But most people don't, right?
I actually learned that recently.
Right,
so.
you drive past like all, you grow up in a culture and you see certain things and you're like, oh, this is what Christmas was like. Was Jesus a baby when they met him?
Which makes, wait, say it again?
Was Jesus a baby?
Yes.
Was he? Maybe he was.
I'm a seminary, I don't know, I'm still learning.
I don't know. We'll see.
That's cool though. That's interesting, because now I want to go read and look for any misconceptions that I may have come up with in my time on the earth in America. That's interesting. Wow.
How old was Jesus when the wise men arrived?
I don't know.
You should look it up. Wow. Or where would you look it up? Anyway, you do your research.
We'll
talk about this in a
as long as you don't make me write a paper on it like my professors do. I think I'll do it.
I know. All right, good stuff, man. Thanks so much.
Yep, it was good. It was fun.
Later.